Yeah, what's up, man? Hope y'all having a blessed one back with another one right here. We got mom discover her son's horrifying secret. Get into this one right here, man.
I know this was a lot. You want to sit down over here at the bench?
Mother to a teenager, this woman had just been handed her 19-year-old son, Style Gann's horrifying and deadly secret by the cops that led to the tragic death of his best friend.
He's shot in the head. There's blood all over there.
On October 21st, 2023, 20-year-old Edward Thompson Jr. fell victim to a violent shootout that eventually ended his life.
The crazy part is I didn't even hear the freaking gunshot. His best friend, they know each other since they were young. He said that my boyfriend was bleeding.
But dreadful revelations during the investigation turned this case into a heartbreaking tragedy involving 3 young boys.
Where is his Glock at?
I just threw it. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know, man.
You're on video. You're on camera.
Hey, this is Sandy Street Police Dispatch. I had a mail roll in Northside Hospital with a gunshot wound. He's currently code. They're trying to resuscitate.
Okay, so he has a gunshot wound.
It's pretty bad. Did y'all start a unit down to Northside?
All right, we'll get a call after that.
At around 3:30 a.m. on the morning of October 21st, 2023, a vehicle pulled up at Northside Hospital, Lawrenceville, Georgia, with shattered windows and a life emergency.
What's going on?
He's expired.
By the time the first responding officers arrived, the patient had already succumbed to his injuries.
We got 1 single 48 male. We got 2 witnesses. The car has been shot up. I have a homicide detective en route. Where are the witnesses at inside? Good morning, y'all. I'm just curious to sit with y'all for a little bit. The detective on the way to talk to y'all, okay?
All right. Hello, Mom. Like, this is probably the worst thing I ever been through in my life.
As the homicide unit took over, detectives gathered information about the victim.
I got a phone call. Hey, and a car pulled up. Open the back door. The front door, everything. Gunshot wound to the head. Dr. Canal.
The victim was a mere 20-year-old boy, Edward Thompson Jr. from Atlanta, Georgia.
Car's kind of got a shot out back window. Yeah.
Victim was in the right rear.
He's shot in the head. There's blood all over there. Defect in the driver's side door.
A missed gunshot piercing was found at the driver's side, while the insides of the car were clear of any disruption.
No defects from inside the vehicle.
You have a female inside with blood all over, and then another male.
Edward was accompanied by his girlfriend and another friend, both of whom were luckily uninjured and most likely had witnessed the crime, but didn't yet know that Edward was no more.
Hello. You mind just stepping out real quick? I'll just talk to her first. I'll handle it then. Yeah. My name's Corporal Blackburn. I work with the Nickname Police Department. Good. This is Detective Early, my colleague. Before I begin, what is your first name?
Vanessa. Sir, my boyfriend is still alive.
I haven't spoken with the doctor yet. What happened this evening?
My boyfriend, he works. I'm a stay-at-home mom. He just went out for today just to have fun at 404 Cafe.
According to Vanessa, Edward's friend Styles drove 3 of them to the club.
So, we're inside of the party. Everything's good. I see him sweating so bad, and he just doesn't feel good. I was like, you ready to go? Because he has work tomorrow at 8 a.m. So we decided to go to the car or whatever.
On the way home, Vanessa said she got behind the wheel while Edward was in the back seat when an unknown guy came to their car.
I'm in the driver's seat, and the guy just walks up, and I see him with a gun like this. So I just pull off. I'm just trying to get away from him. And next thing you know, we're on Jimmy Carter. The crazy part is I didn't even hear the freaking gunshot. His best friend, they know each other since they were young. He said that my boyfriend was bleeding, and that's when we pulled over, and I was holding him because I just couldn't believe it. So I'm like, bro, we gotta go to the hospital right now.
So, inside the club, was he beefing with anybody?
No, sir.
Now, think real hard. What did this male look like?
He was just a Hispanic guy. He looked young. He didn't look like he was over 20. This is he didn't even deserve it. He's a good dad. He doesn't do anything but go to work. imagine none of this happening.
Edward worked at a local moving company and, with Vanessa, raised 4 children, including his 2 little daughters. Detectives next spoke with his childhood friend, Styles Gann, to know more about the attack.
Hey, man. Good yourself?
Not too good, man.
I hear you. So, I just need your 100% cooperation, and we can figure out, who tried hurting you guys, okay?
Yeah, so we getting ready to gather up, leave, go home. We came out the club. We was probably in the car for no more than like 2 minutes.
Styles said he went back to the club to see if another friend of his needed a ride, but got involved in an unwanted exchange of words with someone.
I proceed to try to look for him, so I go towards the door. I hear some words, and I'm like, everybody's okay? And then the dude, he was like, oh, don't ask me this, don't, blah, 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 blah. You're not my friend. And I turned around or whatever, he pointed a gun at me. I continued walking to the car, and then that's when he came up to the car with the gun. And then I told her, like, let's go. She pulled off. I turned around and see my glass shattered and seen Edward Jr. slumped over.
Okay.
I'm like, you bleeding? Like, what's going on? You bleeding? I don't get no response, no nothing.
So what did this guy look like?
But I just know he was Hispanic.
Small guy?
Like, probably my size, probably exactly my frame built.
And you didn't get involved in a fight with him?
No fight, no. Like, I don't know him from a can of paint. I don't know what, like, me walking by saying, is everything good? Like, is it all okay? And then from 0 to 100 real quick.
Can you just hang out here for a minute? We're going to step out, okay?
According to the witnesses, they were at 404 Cafe in the 4800 block of Jimmy Carter Boulevard, where the incident took place. Styles said he was followed by a guy with a handgun when he was walking back to the car, and as they turned onto Jimmy Carter Boulevard, they saw their windshield shattered and Edward bleeding critically. In the parking space near the cafe, detectives found bullet defects on the ground.
These right here, bullet defects, it's coming from that angle, so that means the shell casing should be somewhere around this direction.
Detectives hoped to spot bullet casings on the scene, but didn't find any. However, several CCTVs installed at the club caught the detectives' eye. While they had to wait to get the club's CCTV footage from the night of the incident, detectives scoured another footage from a small shop next door. Edward's car was visible in the footage, and Styles was seen going back toward the bar. As he returned to his vehicle, he exchanged words with 2 other guys, followed by the guys pointing a gun at Styles.
Styles, get back in the car. Victim's vehicle pulls out. Those guys just walk out like nothing's going on.
But things seemed to cool down soon as no altercation was seen initiating. Styles got back in the vehicle and peacefully left the parking lot. But just when the vehicle left, something from the footage stood out to the detectives that changed their thoughts about the case.
Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like somebody's shooting from the car.
Detectives saw that suddenly, the guys who pointed the gun at Styles started reacting to something and trying to duck dive. It seemed they were saving themselves from something coming from the other end, possibly a gunshot.
It looks like they are reacting to something.
But when did the car get hit? Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You have a bullet hole right here, but they're on the passenger side.
Unless we just can't tell that somebody did go to the very back.
It's just hard to tell with this angle. I mean, that's why we need to get the other video.
There was no other way to find out without seeing the 404 Cafe's CCTV footage, which, according to the forensics, required a minimum of 13 hours to download due to the size of the files. Nevertheless, the direction of the case had changed for the detectives, as what they saw in the footage highly varied from what Vanessa and Styles told them. Detectives knew they needed to have a second word with the witnesses about their previous claims.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go back and re-interview Styles and the girlfriend. From what Styles and Vanessa was telling me, it doesn't make sense from what we just saw on video.
Detectives first went to see Vanessa at her home and asked her for a second interview, to which she agreed.
I haven't even ate. I haven't even took a shower since this happened. Like, I still have juniors in my fingernails. Like, our daughter is about to be 2 years old in a week, and we have a about to be 9-month-old baby. And I just never expected that to happen.
There's some questions I need to ask. You know, I got video footage from the location.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please, let's just start from the beginning. Okay. So you see.
I see a whole bunch of guys. They started screaming out, West Side, West Side. It's a certain guy walking up. He just pulled his gun out, and he was pointing it at us. I just remember I just pulled off trying to avoid. And that's when I remember that Styles shooting up in the air.
Vanessa now revealed that Styles also had a gun with him, and while they were driving out of the parking lot, he fired shots in the air towards the guys behind them.
They started running towards the street and shooting at the car.
So what happened to the gun that Styles had? Where?
I don't know exactly where. I'm too busy driving, trying to get away. But like, Styles, he didn't like shoot at nobody. It was in the arrow, but the fact that he still did it, I just feel like that triggered them. Because when he was pointing the gun at us, he didn't shoot.
What did that guy look like?
I have his picture. I was like going on Instagram, and I was just going back like on posting the party and stuff, trying to like see if I recognize. And this is the crazy part about this guy. He posted a picture in the same clothes he was wearing that night.
Vanessa showed the detective screenshots from an Instagram post and claimed it to be the picture of the guy who took shots at them.
Then I was still stalking him. He deleted the pictures. Then he changed his Instagram name. Now today his Instagram's gone.
That's the guy that came up
Gun at us, the one
while y'all were parked?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the guy.
You just take some pictures of that just so I have it. I appreciate you being honest.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So after re-interviewing Vanessa, she explained Styles fired multiple rounds from the vehicle. She has experienced trauma going through this. After she arrived back to her residence from the hospital, she began researching Instagram, and she located a photo of the suspect wearing the same clothing from that morning. Black jacket with white flowers on it. It was pretty distinctive, and he's got a gun tucked into his pant pocket.
It had become evident that Styles may have initiated an altercation that turned deadly at the end. Soon after, the CCTV footage from the 404 cafe came in. In the footage, Styles returned to the bar and remained out of frame for a bit, hinting at his exchange of words with other unknown guys.
And Styles again. He's got a gun. So he's actually wearing the same jacket.
The second he walked back toward the vehicle, the suspect aggressively followed behind and pointed his gun at Styles. The suspect was wearing the same clothing as seen in the Instagram picture.
They get back in the car, and they pull away.
Next, Styles calmly made it to the vehicle, and they pulled away from the parking lot.
That's the video.
Now they get shot at.
Oh, your fancy jacket runs up the road.
Then the guys reacted to the gunshots fired toward them.
He runs up here. There's the car.
Resulting in one of them.
They said he came back. No, he didn't come back. That's the same video from a different angle. They try to say he came back up to the... That's crazy, right?
Chasing the vehicle and shooting at it.
So we would see Styles shooting from inside the vehicle. Hopefully. Vanessa said that Styles fired his gun first.
Okay.
2 or 3 times.
That's the car leaving right there, right?
Correct.
But he ducked right there, and he's ducking multiple rounds.
I need to go watch the other video.
In other footage from a camera pointed toward the exit,
Right there. Stuck his arm out. See him hanging out?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Styles could be seen coming out and shooting from over the roof of the vehicle.
See? As Vanessa's turning onto Jimmy Carter Boulevard, you can see Styles. They were pulling away, and everything was cool. Well, then he started shooting, and that's what caused this guy to run up the bank and fire multiple rounds.
The footage placed the whole incident in perspective, putting the victim's childhood friend under the radar and changing the entire case trajectory for the detectives. They immediately wanted to arrange a second interview with Styles. When they called his place, a family member answered the line.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. This is Corporal Blackburn with the Gwinnett County Police Department.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was just trying to get a hold of Styles. I just had some follow-up questions. Is he available?
You're saying I have no really good time right now.
Right. Well, unfortunately, due to this type of investigation, it's best that, him and I sit down in person and go over everything.
Okay.
The family member agreed to bring Styles to the homicide unit.
So you see the suspect run up on Jimmy Carter, and then he runs down and disappear.
In the interim, detectives continued examining the footage from the club, trying to chase down their suspects.
You see this truck here?
Right after the shootout happened, detectives saw a truck leaving the parking lot.
That might be it right there. Going in. RG, come up in the truck. That would be awesome.
Rewinding to when this vehicle entered the area, detectives hoped to get a clear description of the suspects.
The only thing you can see is tan pants.
When the truck parked, detectives noted a guy wearing tanned pants coming out.
Your suspect right there in the funky jacket?
Yeah. See, like, he walks up with him, so this guy with tan pants is who our suspect is with.
And with him was the guy wearing the funky jacket, who later uploaded his picture in the same outfit on Instagram.
You're now looking, I'm trying to see the red truck on Flock. His vehicle hit Flock camera.
As the red truck left the club, detectives could track its movement using the Flock cameras database, and luckily, they got its license plate number.
And that's the guy driving.
The vehicle's registered to the guy wearing tanned pants. The guy came from the west side of Atlanta and wasn't a native. Digging further, detectives secured another lead that highly raised the chances of catching their suspect. They noted that the red truck had been recently involved in an accident, and multiple people were mentioned in the crash report. Detectives hoped to get the details of their suspect, whose fired shots killed Edward. Unfortunately, the odds fell in the detective's side.
Oh yeah. Right off the bat, easily have textures and a lead in here in seconds. I love this. What's up? My name is...
I think that's him.
What's his height on that kid?
5'4".
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be him.
Damn.
Because Styles is like, yeah, he's on my size.
I'm telling you, that's him.
This was a 20-year-old boy named Kevin Pacheco from Atlanta. While detectives began to track his current whereabouts, Styles came to the homicide unit with his mother.
So right here, I'm gonna have Detective Araya. He's gonna come in and just show you a photographic lineup. Okay. Of possible the suspect from Saturday morning. Okay. Okay. And then I'll come back and we'll sit down and talk. Okay. Good morning. Okay.
Styles was given a photo lineup comprising similar-looking suspects, from which he positively identified Kevin Pacheco.
I'll for sure say him off the rip.
You want to circle that number? And you want to put your initials next to it? Couple Blackburn will be in here now to talk to you further about the case.
I'm gonna confirm about, hey, talk to Vanessa, review the video, and what you told me Saturday morning doesn't really add up from what happened.
How old is he?
19. This is gonna be a tough interview. Obviously, Styles' best friend was killed. I'm not looking forward to this.
Styles didn't anticipate what was coming for him next. The detectives then sat with him with their actual questions.
So this is Sergeant Ork. He was at the scene. So you had some alcoholic beverages that morning. Emotions were running high. You're in a clear state of mind right now, right? Okay. So you pull off, you leave the parking lot.
Yeah, well, Vanessa was driving, I'm in the passenger.
Correct.
Yeah.
What happens then?
I guess that's when shots was fired. As we're just going, trying to get up out of there, remove ourselves from chaos.
Detectives hoped to hear the truth from Styles, but he didn't intend to reveal his own actions on that night. Detectives then cut to the chase and confronted Styles with all they had about him.
So this is kind of the issue we're running into, Styles, okay? You understand that there were multiple cameras that faced that parking lot, okay? Vanessa's follow-up interview, okay? She's telling me some stuff that you're leaving out, okay? And you know what you're leaving out.
I'm trying to understand, this is my brother, I'm trying to understand what,
I mean, do I have to show you the video?
I would like to see, I don't know.
Okay, I'll show you. You're in the front passenger seat, like you told me, right?
Passenger.
This is your car, okay? Did you see that?
No.
That's you hanging out the window.
Okay, when we was pulling out, Ed maybe fired, I'm not sure, but I'm
That's not Ed. That's you hanging out the front passenger window, man.
I didn't hang out no window.
Listen.
Right.
Vanessa's already told me you fired multiple rounds at that parking lot.
I'm telling you, I don't know, man.
You're on video. You're on camera. I'm giving you an opportunity to tell me what happened.
Detectives knew Styles was feeling afraid to open up, and for a young boy of his age, only a confession would prove to be beneficial for him as well as the detectives. Hence, not wanting to push him hard, they tried to ease Styles to admit his actions.
We're here investigating the death of your friend.
I know.
Which I'm sorry for, and I'm sorry you had to experience that.
I know.
Okay? And that's why it's imperative that you be honest with us.
Yeah, as we left, I did self-defense. I tried to defend my brother.
How many rounds did you shoot from the car?
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
Okay.
What type of gun did you have?
Glock.
Where is this Glock at?
I just threw it.
Okay, where did you throw it?
I don't know where it's at. I shot self-defense. He shot at our car. That's all I remember now.
Listen to me, okay? Once Vanessa pulled off, everything was calmed down, okay? You decided to lean out of the vehicle and fired multiple rounds back into that parking lot. Your actions caused that guy to run back up and began firing at your vehicle.
I shot and that caused him to run up, but he put a gun on my head.
There's no doubt you pointed the gun at your head. But there's no threat anymore, okay?
I didn't know there was no threat still. I didn't know.
All right, we're gonna step out for a minute.
Stiles, a teenager, didn't seem to understand what the detectives tried to
It's not that. Like, he didn't know. He had a gun pointed to his head, and he ran back to his car and got his gun. And he started shooting. It was still a threat to him. A nigga pull a gun out into your head and they let you get your gun. Nigga, it's still a threat. He got the gun to your head. Like, what the fuck? Like, what huh?
discuss. Detectives knew Stiles had involved himself in a serious felony, but his mother, who was waiting for him downstairs, was utterly unaware of the upcoming nightmare. Hoping to soon have her son back, Stiles' mother was passed on the news that broke her to pieces.
I'm just going to kind of give you a brief summary of what I learned during the homicide investigation, okay? Saturday morning, as they were leaving, Stiles, he was in an altercation with an unknown male at the club. The suspect pulls out a firearm from his person and points it at Stiles. At which point he gets in the vehicle and they leave. And the escalation was diffused as they're driving and turning onto Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Stiles decides to hang out the front passenger seat window and begin firing his handgun into the parking lot where multiple patrons were standing.
Okay. He had a gun pointed at his head.
He did, but then they left. There's no threat at this point, okay? He is no longer in harm's way. So Stiles' actions is what caused a shootout in the parking lot.
No,
unfortunately, Stiles.
No, that gun being pointed to his head. That shit making me fucking mad because the gun pointed to his head started the shootout. The nigga was scared. Nigga pointed a gun to his head and he was scared. And he went and got a gun and shot back. He went to get a gun and shot that nigga. Nigga point a gun to your head and let you walk away. You ain't gonna be like, oh, he let me live. Bitch, if you got a gun in the car, you want to get your shit and shoot that bitch. Like, what the fuck? That nigga just had me here. Like, nah, bro. The nigga hold me up at gunpoint, bro. And I go back and get my gun. I'ma shoot his ass, bro. Like, I don't give no fucks. Nigga hit that nigga at gunpoint, gun posted. Nah, dog. I feel where they coming from, though, but damn.
Being placed under arrest. This is real. I know this was a lot. You want to sit down over here at the bench?
Stiles had a gun pulled on him. He probably was scared. Unfortunately, several minutes after he makes the decision to pull his gun and fire out of the car into a crowd, he could have hit and killed someone else.
All right, Stiles, go ahead and stand up. Put your hands behind your back. You're being placed under arrest. For what? I didn't kill nobody.
Stiles tried hiding his actions and expected he would stay clear of any involvement in the case, but his single short-tempered moment became the primary reason for the death of his best friend. For the time being, Stiles was charged with aggravated assault. For the detectives after him, it was now time to go after Edward's real killer, Kevin Pacheco, who was yet unlocated by the authorities. Detectives contacted the Fulton County SWAT team about Kevin and his charges. 48 days had passed since Edward Thompson was killed, and then a lead came in. Kevin Pacheco was tracked to an apartment complex in Atlanta by the Gwinnett County Fugitive Task Force. An arresting officer in the Fugitive Task Force took Kevin into custody, bringing him to the station.
What's up, man?
Hi, my name is Corporal Blackburn. This is Sergeant Robertson.
October 21st, 2023, I responded to a shooting at the 404 Cafe. Okay? You know you were there, right?
They said I was there.
Okay, there's video surveillance of the exterior of the club. This is your time to tell me what happened that night. You're on surveillance cameras.
So you were there at the club, right?
Yeah, I see.
Okay. What do you remember of the night?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember anything?
This is from the surveillance cameras in the parking lot that shows you pointing a gun at this other individual. Do you remember that?
I see myself holding a bottle right there.
What was in your hand? It's not a bottle. Okay.
So that night you had a gun, right?
I don't even remember. I don't even have a gun. I don't even own a gun.
No. We have video evidence that is very hard to dispute. So why don't you just explain to me what happened with you and this other gentleman? Did he disrespect you in front of your boys?
Kevin found it hard to digest that his violent actions from the past were all out in the open with the detectives. He tried refusing his involvement, but very well knew there was no way out of it.
What about gunshots in the parking lot? You remember hearing those? You want to talk. You're just afraid to talk. Okay? I can see it in your eyes.
So there's no way, like I can have like an attorney with this or something?
All right. Well, we're going to get you transported to the jail.
But why?
For murder, Kevin.
All right, stand up. Put your hands around the bed. Ready?
Alcohol and guns it's not a good combination, you know? You think you're invincible. Careless, that's all it is, and no regard for human life. So it's a sad situation all around. I mean, you know, ultimately 3 lives are going to be lost because, I mean, there's 3 individuals involved in tragic event.
Both Styles Gann and Kevin Pacheco were later charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of certain felonies, reckless conduct, and unauthorized discharge of a firearm within 50